Mark, earlier this month now, two of the most successful women in the sport, Reanne Evans and Ng On-Yi, were given 2-year tour cards, allowing them to join the professional ranks next season. And Rob Walker caught up with Reanne earlier this week to talk about her return to the tour.
Reanne Evans, congratulations, a 12-time world champion and now a fully fledged member of the tour for 2 years. What was it like when that news came?
It was rather a shock. I was driving along and luckily I didn't crash. I was stuck in traffic, but no, it took me by surprise, but obviously it's fabulous news.
You've had a year on tour before, back in 2010, 2011. Why is this different?
This year it's 2 years, not one. Previously I played, I didn't win a match, but I felt my game improved and come on leaps and bounds. I had a few tough matches against top pros, but when I came off playing other amateur players or the women's, things like that, I felt like my game had improved a lot. So hopefully with a 2-year card I can get all the experience and maybe a few wins along the way in the first year and obviously step up there in the second year. How
much better do you think you are now as a player than you were 11 years ago?
I've got, I think, more of an all-round game this time. I need to practice on my lung game. I think that's a big part of today's game. So I'm going to be working with Chris Henry, coach, so hopefully he can guide me in the right direction.
Thinking back to when you first picked up a cue, if someone had said to you then that you'd be a fully fledged member of the tour with men and women, would you have believed them that that was possible and that people would be open-minded enough to go down that road all those years ago when you started?
No, definitely not. When I first started playing, I didn't even know there was a women's tour. So a teammate of another team gave me some entry fees for the World Championships and I had to wait till I was 16. And then obviously found out there was a tour, played on it, done okay, got to the Crucible, first ever event. So, and I thought I might as well carry on playing now. And then obviously the more you play, the more you want. And the more I was winning, the more I was like, right, I want more titles, I want records.
How significant do you think this development will be in terms of encouraging the next generation of female snooker players to come through?
I think this is the biggest news for the biggest step forward for women's snooker. Because, okay, you can inspire and trailblaze, but if youngsters or even women just getting interested in snooker, if they don't see it, you can't believe it, so to speak. So when they start seeing us compete on tour, maybe on TV every now and again, and they'll think, right, that I've seen it now, it's true, it can happen, and I want to be the next one. And all around the world now, hopefully, fingers crossed, there's going to be a lot more women and girls participating and want to improve their game in snooker.
These ripples, these moments of history that you're part of, extend far beyond the confines of your specific sport.
I love darts as well. I follow the darts with Fallon and Lisa Ashton, and they're doing amazing. And obviously there's a few others there or thereabouts now as well. So it's just women in sport in general. I think it's fantastic. And I was ever so jealous when Billie Jean King messaged her. Oh, she's like, in tennis, I love tennis, so Serena's my hero, but Billie Jean King's is up there. She started it all off, didn't she? But no, when she said she got that message, I was like, right, now I want to do something so she can message me.
What's your view about whether the reigning women's world champion should have a guaranteed entry into the Champ of Champs? It's not a guarantee at the moment, but it's being discussed. What's your view on that?
For me, I think it should be out there. A lot of people are going to disagree, but that's opinions. And there's no right or wrong. It's just what's best for the sport, I feel. And obviously, personally, I've been there and experienced it. So a lot of the other women will see that as an incentive to try harder to win the World Championships, even more so. But I think it's a great, perfect line for women's snooker. And obviously, being on TV, we don't get that chance very often. So I think, in general, I think it's the way to go.
Great to hear from Reanne there, a real trailblazer. Neil, interesting point there about the Champion of Champions. Yeah. Should the women's world champion be given a place in the Champion of Champions by right?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah, it should be on the list. There should be 16 tournaments, you know, which you get in from, and if someone wins more than one, you move down. But if the Women's World Championship is in the 16 in the first place, it means the winner will be in it. Whoever that is, of course, you know, it's a bit like the World Seniors. I've had the feeling in the past certain players had to win the World Seniors to be in it, and I think that's been the case. So, yeah, I think whoever wins the World Ladies Championship should be in it. And also, it's one way of encouraging young female players to come through, isn't it? An opportunity is there to be in the spotlight. It's got to be good for the game.
I think so. Unless you are seeing women playing in televised events, the big events, then girls and other women who might want to pick up the sport don't see them, don't realise it's an avenue that's open to them. You've played, of course, Reanne, in a World Championship qualifying match.
I have indeed, yeah. And, I mean, she's a wonderful player, first and foremost. Whether she's a lady, she's been a great ambassador for the sport as well. She's dedicated a lot of her life to the sport and loves it. And, yeah, I'm with Neil. I think she deserves everything, and also she'll be an inspiration. And we've opened the doors to women on this side of the pond, and of course in Asia as well, where the game is so popular, that the girls over there will see that snooker, you know, there are benefits as they progress, and maybe one day they can play in the World Championship or play in the Champion Champs. And I think it's a fantastic idea, you know, and she deserves it, just like Anya does as well.